What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about Vivica A. Fox once again. I spoke about her previously in a video, and I did a extended conversation, a live stream. I will link those in the description box. There were people that thought that there was some people that may have thought I was very harsh on Vivica. Honestly, I don't think I was as harsh as I could have been. I think that I wanted to show just how stupid I think her comments really were, and how her mindset reflects the type of woman that we don't need in our society. You know, our society is riddled with feminist-minded women who don't understand that without strong men, you have no community and you have no country. You have no protection. You have no innovation. And men being able to have a backbone and are able to call these women out, I don't think anything is wrong with that. I think women should hear that truth, but they don't want to hear the truth, which is fine. But you can't get angry when you can't get the men that you want because you don't have what it takes. Because contrary to what a lot of these women want to believe, there are men out there who are successful that want a woman who can be that missing piece, that femininity, okay? A woman they feel comfortable with raising their children. And women of today just don't present that. They really don't. See, women like Vivica represents the woman of a generation of destroyed women. You know, she's the aging, she's like that aging out female of society. What I mean she's aging out is the dating market. She's aging out, and also as far as relevancy, I don't think that Vivica has been relevant for quite some time, as people have made fun of her online for. And I think Kevin Samuels was a guy that was an easy target to these bitter women because he was not emotional, did not beef, and these women were able to hide behind the fact that there are women and he's talking about women who are on his show for a reason. They're on his show for a reason. Now, for some of you that don't know, I spoke on this article here and what she had to say on her show about Kevin Samuels and how she was cold and she was harsh. So in my response, I felt like I need to be equally harsh. And now she's getting backfired. It's backfired on her. There are several websites that are writing about this. This is just one of Black Enterprise Magazine is just one of them. They all think she's nuts. Okay. And the fact that she's on like Fox Soul on a failing show and she's saying these comments, this is the most publicity they probably will get. And what's interesting is because of comments she made about a guy that was making YouTube commentary. He started to do things mainstream wise. I think that's the karma, right? And again, women like Vivica are aging out of the dating market. They're bitter. They're mad at everybody. And the guy that's the symbol of all these women's insecurity passes away and they take it as an opportunity to attack him. Have any of these heifers ever heard the saying, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all? Because I guarantee you, if one of these man-hating heifers passed away, I would not say anything. Because again, I'm not that pressed. But the fact that these women can get online and be disrespectful towards this man, then claim to be Christians and claim to be religious, just shows how much of a lunatic how much of a lunatic energy that they have. Let's get to this Black Enterprise article, man. On the Fox Soul Show podcast, Cocktails with Queens, I call them Cocktails with Cones, actress Vivica A. Fox, one of the show's co-hosts, made what some believe was an insensitive comment about the death of controversial YouTube star Kevin Samuels. Kevin died on May 5th in his apartment in the company of a woman who frantically attempted to save his life. His death was reported as a cardiac event. She said, "This man was a hypocrite. In my honest opinion," said Fox on the show, "the hosts were disgusting comments by comedian Marlon Wayans, who said that Samuels offered healing through a nasty medicine." Because you see, that's the problem. You see, men are supposed to, especially in the black community, men are supposed to just shut up and not say nothing. We're supposed to just deal with what we deal with. We're not supposed to hold these women accountable. We're just supposed to shut up and be told what to do. And Vivica represents that generation of women that were raising the children on their own, dating men who were not the best for them, men who were broke bums living off those women. She represents a generation of women that got comfortable being in a masculine position. Now, again, you have women that, due to survival, they had to rely on the government, but there were women that they didn't really need the government because, you know why? Because they had jobs, they were educated, but they still dated low-level men because they felt threatened by a man who was intelligent and who was successful and can do for himself. You see, that is the major problem in the black community, especially. A lot of these black women are comfortable dating weak, pathetic, bum males. They are comfortable dating men who are intellectually inferior to them, who are not going to challenge them because they don't want to be put out. And then they wonder why they cannot find a good man. You can't be 45 talking about you want to be a sugar baby. You cannot wait until you're almost 50 to talk about you want a man who has money and successful. You should have thought about that when you was in your 20s, but you didn't think about that because you were too busy chasing around bums, chasing around mama's boys that needed you to take care of them. You were comfortable. A lot of you women were comfortable dating down. And when you have a man that comes along and say, hey, you should do this, that. And again, Kevin Samuels wasn't the only one. There were plenty of guys that were saying that before him, and there were guys that are going to say this after him. But see, because he grew the way he did, and he was able to appeal to a wider group of people, it bothered them. Especially when you're on a failing show on YouTube that nobody cares about, except for the broken-hearted women who look for anybody that can mirror their thoughts. You see, Vivica represents a generation of women that are swiftly being pushed aside, right? And they don't like it. He really was, Fox said. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African-American women on a consistent basis. The 57-year-old actress, like many others, also commented on Samuel's last video where he called women over the age of 35 leftovers. Well, I will say this though. After I posted my video about Vivica and my live stream, I was told that he actually did commentary about Vivica. And that might have been the reason why she reacted so strongly. But I cannot go off of that. You know why? Because she never mentioned it. She never mentioned him saying anything about her. If he did speak about her, she didn't find out maybe until recently. Maybe she doesn't even know or care. Or maybe she's already addressed Kevin Samuels about that. So I can't really say it's that. You have a bitter woman who's almost 60, who's alone, right? She has to date younger men that don't have much because that's all she can get. Men her age who are successful are not checking for no Vivica A. Fox, no matter what she does to her face. To me, he was a shock jock. She added, so the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, rest in peace, she added with an eyebrow raised. Well, I can tell you right now, that woman was a lot more attractive than what you see on Fox Soul. So he may have killed over real quick, according to her, but it was when he was in the company of a woman that's way more attractive than anything that's on that Fox Soul panel. Fox was not only one of the co-hosts who disagreed with Samuel's delivery or Wayne's opinion on it. The show's host, Claudia Jordan, said, "I'm going to say this, and people can be mad at me if they want to. Just because someone passes on it doesn't mean we can't say anything honest or negative about you. We can't be held accountable for things that we said while we were alive." Well, I hope, Claudia, you keep that same energy when one of these females that you're a fan of passes away and people say negative things about her. I want you to keep that same energy. However, she later added, "I think he made some valid points. I think people were very unrealistic about relationships." Well, you could have just said that instead of the other stuff. Listen, once again, I'm not saying that you cannot voice criticisms of Kevin Samuels, but talking about somebody's passing as karma is not criticism. What it is your bitterness being bottled up and displaying itself. That's what it is. One critic on Instagram wrote, "Gloating on someone's death is tacky and shows you have no class." Wrote a detractor on Instagram, "Who are you to judge anybody? You mad? The things he said applied to you. Grow up." On Twitter, another detractor wrote, "Vivica Fox hasn't been relevant since the 90s. She is a leftover woman, like Kevin Samuels said, and for her to be so happy about his passing, disguising it as karma, explains why she's been irrelevant for decades and still don't have a man." Well, that explains it. That's Vivica in a nutshell. What an absolute sideshow. What an absolute joke. Listen, people, we can think and believe what we want, but I'm of the mind that, listen, you can have your criticism. You know, if you didn't like his delivery or the format of the show, you know, but again, those women volunteered, y'all. He didn't go and recruit those women to go on the show. Those women volunteered to be on the show. And the thing is, when you become successful at anything, you're gonna have people who are not gonna like it, especially when you are a black man and you are not stereotypical. You're gonna get a little bit more hate than others because you represent the type of man these women despise. These women are raised to compete with black men. They are raised to only accept men who are intellectually and financially inferior to them, because women like her have an inferiority complex when it comes to men. They don't like a man who's more successful than them. They would rather deal with a man that has absolutely nothing going on for himself than a man who's going to hold them accountable and is successful. And that just shows why they continue to fail at these relationships. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go and check out my other commentary on this situation, and I'll see y'all in the next video.